guys, welcome back into my channel. My name is Meg. For newcomers, I share wisdom and hope through guided weekly meditations for people on a healing journey. Hopefully, I'm starting to attract other like-minded entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and creatives. So in today's episode, I am taking you through the story of how I came to the conclusion that it was right for me in the moment that I was in my life to quit my Fortune 500 six-figure job with absolutely no backup plan. Yes, there, I said it. I did something that I still am surprised I actually did, but I know that the wisdom from my higher self came through. And in my first episode, I shared a bit about how a trip to Africa where I volunteered really kind of drove it home that a big life change was needed for me. And I won't go into all the details of corporate America, as we all know. I'm sure many of you have had plenty of experiences with all of the egos and reorganizations and unfortunate things that come about with companies that have their own interest at heart and unfortunately not yours. So I learned the hard way, and I gave way too much of my heart, I think, to something that wasn't going to serve me in the end. And when I came to the conclusion that it was time to pivot, I wasn't sure which way to go. By the way, I'm recording in California. It is pouring rain outside, and I apologize in advance if it is distracting while I talk. But I went into a regularly scheduled meeting with my boss, who I really didn't feel as connected to, and she looked at me in the meeting and asked what I would like to specifically focus on in the following year, and that they were looking forward to helping me sort of carve out a path. And I don't know what happened, guys. It must have been the angels and the deep wisdom within myself that came out before I even realized. I looked at her and I said, I'm not going to be here next year. And just like that, in the drop of a dime, I resigned from my job. I didn't even intend to do that, but let me tell you, it was one of the best gifts I've ever given myself. And for me personally, I was in a place that most would have thought was the most covetable. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't a great place, but it just was not where I was meant to be anymore. And I think as we start to do the self-study, we get to know ourselves, and there's a sort of autopilot that our subconscious mind goes on. It's sort of like a treadmill. And when I came back from Africa and having some really life-changing experiences and just witnessing other culture and really sort of serving up to myself what I wanted in my life, I knew that it wasn't what I was currently doing, because I didn't feel like I was sharing enough of my natural gifts. And so there I was, and this was 6 years ago, and I will tell you, I jumped into, I should say, I swam into the wild riptides and currents of the sea of self-employment, and I started my own business. It's pretty humbling just to do that. All of a sudden, you just notice that these things that we had taken care of for us, like our healthcare and our devices and our, laptops and phones and things that you get really kind of used to and comfortable when you work full-time for a company, everything just evaporates, and you start to find yourself looking in the mirror, asking a lot of questions that you've never had to ask. So where do I begin? Do I attempt to create rate cards, uncovering these deep questions like, what is your self-worth? And you have this really great resume, and you just are coming out of this amazing job that you helped start an entire work stream, but will clients pay for that? And how do you negotiate projects and statements of work and everything in between while showing up and providing like a successful creative output for these big companies? So, learning the hard way, you figure it out as a new business owner, and I did, and I still am. Every day is definitely an adventure, but I think you become one thing. And to all of you other entrepreneurs, I see you and I hear you and I totally respect you. There is something so humbling about knowing that you just do not have the answers to every question. I got shot down by people I knew and respected. I actually had some people tell me, like, oh, good luck trying to be an art director on your own. And, people close to me kind of questioned, like, my why. And it's so unstable and hard. Like, can't you just make it easy on yourself and go work for someone else? And the answer was no. And it's not a surprise that what's felt like countless interviews, since I left, that I have yet to receive more than one job offer. Pretty ironic, right? I usually am pretty dazzling in person, and for anyone that knows me, I think my interpersonal skills are quite a winner. But sometimes our soul just longs for our identity to shift, and we put the past aside and we step forward into the new person we're becoming, and we write a new story. And once you find that trust within yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and your choice to live in a way that is best for your heart's desire, one that is truly unique to you. So I will share that progress update after 5 years. I have had the amazing opportunity to work with a myriad of different clients over the years. I have been and was blessed by one big client that worked, into my schedule 90% of the time for quite a while up until the last year. And I now seem to continuously kind of pick up new clients as ones drop off. But I will tell you, I've learned a lot around our self-worth as we go through the day-to-day, and especially in a world where companies, especially in our economy, are cutting back. And I'm a creative director, so cutting back on staff, and that means my job is harder because the people that I work with, for example, on a shoot may not be there, and I might have to a much heavier load to lift, shall we say. But I'm a team player, and I always have been, and I always will be. But it is a different day and age, and what we feel our experience is really needs to match what our rates are that we're charging clients. And I feel like for me, it comes at a price of energy exchange. So I welcome you to think about that for all you entrepreneurs. Like, how is this energy exchange working for you? And is this something that you'd like to continue to do? And I've certainly experienced both ends of the spectrum, but I will say that you will know when the energy exchange feels aligned and refreshing. And I don't mean that it isn't challenging or there's parts of or aspects of any job that we don't completely love, but you'll walk away feeling like you did part of your life's work and you left it on the table, and you also felt like you worked alongside solid people. So I would recommend for anyone listening that is new, and I give this advice often when people ask me to take a look at their portfolios, other creatives, it's write down what it is that when you wake up in the morning you would be so excited to do. And really write it down in detail, like the types of clients, the type of work, how much you'd like to get paid, where is the work happening, what types of characters will you be working alongside, what is the weather like, what are you going to be wearing. Daydream, think big. And once you identify the kinds of clients or the work that you'd like to do, then start sharing that and start pivoting your work to reflect what that is, or do tests. And if you're a writer, you can write a test story to attract those clients, right? When I was looking to start art directing for clients, I had to do test shoots to show them that my worth and my work spoke for itself. So I wanted to work with a lot of denim brands because that was sort of what I had done in the past, but yet I was new into art and creative direction. So it was showing them what I would do with the styling and the direction and the tone and the color and all of those design principles. And so I got a group together to do a shoot, to show my ideas. And any chance you can let me start that over. Any chance that you have the opportunity to show your unique talents and skills and really what highlights who you are and what lights you up, the better, because there's no other you, and it doesn't matter what type of work you do. You are not in competition with anyone. You are simply writing your story, and you are customizing it into the realms that you want to be able to provide services to people that you would like to be with. So I hope that helps you. So starting a business, I'd love your guys' input and thoughts on things that you've learned, tips certainly at the beginning. I still feel like a freshman at times, even though I've been going around the circle quite a number of years now. One thing, especially as we're getting close to tax season, that is so really mind-blowing is taxes, and just trusting that if you align yourself with the proper resources, it's not as scary as it sounds. And I think that's really sort of a bird's eye view of life in general, right? There's always going to be things that we don't know, and being business owners and entrepreneurs, like, you just put your seatbelt on and you have to figure a lot out on your own. And the difference is you don't always have people rooting you on. And I know for me, there's times I've doubted my choices, and I'm always open to interviews, and I constantly am interviewing, and I am aware that life has an interesting and wonderfully unique way of working out for all of us, and it just unfolds. So be flexible and open, and continue to follow your heart and passion, and just know that you are the only one of you, and you absolutely can change your everyday by the thoughts that you think. And the more we daydream and think about what we do want to bring into our lives, and the clients that we do want to work with, or the relationship that we're really wishing for, or the home, the more we put color and description in our minds, like subconsciously, we start to already feel and believe it ourselves. And I'm a big proponent of journaling too. The written and the spoken word are equally powerful in manifesting. So those are sort of just some of my tips on starting a business and more about my story. And I will absolutely be back for a third episode. I'm sure it's going to be in the realm of self-worth and self-care. So stay tuned, and I will see you all very soon. As always, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back for another meditation as well. I wish you all the very best this week, and I hope that you are doing well. Take care.